and they need action to lower costs, period. So will you exempt baby products from tariffs, yes or no?
Again, we will
Yes
look
or
into
no?
it. We
Mr. Secretary,
will look at,
respectfully.
we will look at.
Mr. Secretary, respectfully.
Congresswoman,
Yes
I do
or
not. I am the
no?
Treasury Secretary. I am not the USTR.
Reclaiming my
I
time.
am not the President of the United States.
Reclaiming my time.
So you're asking the wrong person.
I'll take a
And-
commitment. Mr. Secretary, you are
it's
taking
the
my
gentlelady's
time.
time.
Reclaiming my time, Mr.
This is
Secretary.
Financial Stability Oversight Council.
Mr. Secretary, then I ask for your advocacy then.
Setting the scene. What actually happened on February 4th. It was February 4th, 2026. Inside a fluorescent-lit hearing room on Capitol Hill, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent sat in front of the House Financial Services Committee for the annual Financial Stability Oversight Council report. To the average American watching the cable ticker, it looked like another dry fiscal year-in-review hearing. Then Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts took her 5 minutes and detonated them. She put the number on the record first. The average American family spends more than $20,000 on a baby in year one. Car seats, strollers, cribs, all of it, now more expensive because of the Trump-era tariffs. And then she dropped the line that made this hearing go viral. She asked the Treasury Secretary to explain, on camera, why baby products are not exempt from tariffs when asbestos, of all things, is. Watch what happened next.
Massachusetts, Ms. Pressley, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Secretary, it took a year to get Secretary Turner before this committee, so I'm grateful for your return. And I want to pick up where we left off 9 months ago. The average American spends over $20,000 on baby costs in the first year of having a baby. Essential products, like car seats, are more expensive because of Trump tariffs. You told me last time that they were under consideration, but nothing has changed since May of last year, much to the distress of families. There is still no exemption for tariffs on baby products. For the record, Mr. Secretary, how many tariff exemptions are there?
There are actually very few now.
You're right. Actually, I think there's some 30 pages of exemptions totaling over 1,000, including for asbestos. Can you explain to families across America, working families struggling to make ends meet, why baby products that are required by law are not exempt from Trump's tariffs?
Again, Congressman, or Congresswoman, it is a matrix, and many of these products, unfortunately, are made in China, and
Mr. Secretary, reclaiming my time.
It's
an unacceptable answer. You've had 9 months. You told me it was under consideration. You've had 9 months to think about it, and while you've been thinking about it, working families have been struggling. When it is required by law that they have many of these essential baby costs, your report from the Department of Treasury refers to them, car seats, as essential safety tools. So if you can acknowledge that, this is...
I will acknowledge the gas to run the car.
Well, listen,
is at a 5-year low.
You've included asbestos in your exemptions. So you're telling me you can do asbestos and not baby products that are... Excuse me, it's my time.
I think you would want children to be safe in their homes.
Mr. Secretary, parents with newborns don't want to hear your excuses. They need to keep their babies safe. They want to comply with the law, and they need action to lower costs, period. So will you exempt baby products from tariffs, yes or no?
Again, we will
yes
look into
or no?
it.
Mr. Secretary, respectfully.
We will look at.
Mr. Secretary, respectfully.
Congresswoman,
yes
I do
or
not.
no?
I am the Treasury Secretary. I am not the USTR.
Reclaiming my time.
I am not the President of the United
Reclaiming
States.
my time.
So you're asking the wrong person.
I'll take a commitment. Mr. Secretary, you are taking my time. Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary.
This is Financial Stability Oversight Council.
Mr. Secretary, then I ask for your advocacy then. Because a no or a non-answer is unacceptable to the working families you claim to care so much about. Moving on.
I don't know, it's the gentlelady's time.
I'm agreeing with you. You will have my advocacy.
Okay, thank you. Can you say that again for the record?
Sorry.
Can you say that again for the record?
I
will have your advocacy?
I am one voice.
For an exemption?
I am one voice.
Okay. Have you been paying attention to the high rate of unemployment for Black workers? Are you aware of that? The high unemployment rate for black workers?
It is traditionally higher than for all workers.
Well, listen, it's through the roof right now. There's hundreds of thousands of black workers that have been pushed out of the workforce, and the unemployment rates for black workers and all workers are among the highest they've been since the COVID-19 pandemic. Black workers contribute over $1 trillion to the U.S. economy, but the push out of these workers from the workforce has led to a loss of $37 billion in the GDP, with black women being among, just so y'all know, the most educated and most active in seeking work. Their push out is a glaring warning sign for where our economy is headed, because black workers, black women in particular, have always been the canaries in the coal mine. So this is a problem for everyone. Black women are bearing the brunt, but everyone will feel this hurt. I have led letters to Fed Chair Powell calling for action to be taken. He is also a member of FSOC. So I want to ask you, Mr. Secretary, will you commit to analyzing black unemployment rates specifically and its impacts on financial stability? Yes or no?
I will analyze black unemployment rates.
Wonderful. And when will you get us a report and a plan of action? I was thinking March 6th.
I can't commit to a date.
Okay, all right. Well, I think March 6th makes sense. That'd give you over a month, which is more than enough time to convene that working group and to report out your findings. I know you already have the infrastructure to do that. So at the end of the day, black families, black futures, and the lives and livelihoods of all who call this country home are depending on you to act. And with that, happy Black History Month. I yield back.
And thank you, and I was sorry to see you not run for Senate.
Listen to what is happening underneath that clip. Bessent is not answering the question. He is deflecting, 3 times in 30 seconds, to someone else. I'm not the USTR. I'm not the president. So you're asking the wrong person. This is the classic bureaucratic funding cut defense. I am a Treasury Secretary, not a trade czar, not a president. So what do you want from me? But Pressley does not let him escape. She responds, "With respect then, Secretary, if you will not answer, I am asking for your advocacy. Because a non-answer is unacceptable to the working families you claim to care so much about." And here's the part most people missed. Pressley is not picking a fight. She is forcing a record. A Treasury Secretary on camera, under oath, before a committee, making a public commitment to advocate for exempting baby car seats, strollers, and cribs from tariffs. That is a Senate-confirmed witness tying himself to a future policy promise. That's what good oversight looks like.
Gentlewoman yields back. Chair recognizes the chair of the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, Mr. Muser from Pennsylvania.
Secretary Bessent, thank you very much for being with us, and thank you when you state that it's now Main Street's turn. I can assure you the people of Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District greatly appreciate that, and your remarks are quite refreshing. The previous Treasury Secretary, once when I asked what their economic growth initiatives were, they implied that federal spending was their primary, if not only, growth initiative. So clearly, under your leadership and President Trump's and the Republicans in Congress, passing the family's tax cut delivered meaningful tax relief, billions to workers and small business owners, no tax on tips, regulatory reform, no tax on overtime, 100% depreciation. All this is driving our savings. All this is driving our economy for a booming GDP, Q3 and Q4 in the over 4% range. So things are going very well. We expect 2026 to be pretty exciting as well. Secretary, if there is anything that was asked that is still on your mind that you would like to respond to, why don't you go ahead and do so?
Again, this is supposed to be a financial stability oversight mission, and that we have taken this very seriously, and we believe that a lack of growth, one of the reasons I am sitting here and came out from behind my very quiet and nice private life, is because I was worried that the U.S. was going to become like a European-style social democracy. And indeed, what we are seeing in Europe, in many countries, is the death spiral of higher debt, raised taxes, lower growth. The U.S. will have reported likely, despite the government shutdown, despite the longest government shutdown in history, 4.1% growth for the past 3 quarters. And so we have been successful at that. Europe last week celebrated 0.3% growth. So it's no comparison. And I think we are beginning to accelerate. And importantly, everything we are doing is to fix this terrible Biden inflation from the past 4 years, 21.5%, much more for working families, and we are bringing that down.
Your remarks and the president's remarks in Davos suggested that how you spiral down in your economy, which Europe has been doing, not having closed borders or secure borders anyway, over-reliance upon imports and driving the public sector rather than the private sector is a recipe for disaster. And so we appreciate you correcting the ship and moving the United States in the right direction. Just to get to some questions, Secretary, you've emphasized putting Main Street ahead of Wall Street when evaluating bank capital standards. How will modernizing the capital framework improve credit access and affordability for small businesses, homeowners, farmers, who ultimately, in the end, bear the costs for such excessive capital requirements?
Again, Congressman, the groups you just listed are the three most dependent on community and small banks. And we are determined to increase their lending capacity, to increase their proclivity to lend. And we want to do it on a safe, sound, and smart basis.
In the previous administration, we had regulators that imposed capital requirements well beyond the international peers, including the GSIB surcharge, the CCAR, Tier 1 leverage ratios. Are these frameworks being reviewed holistically to better support lending and economic growth?
Again, we are not going to let outside regulators determine what is best for the U.S. financial system.
Thank you.
The strength of the U.S. financial system is the depth and breadth, and we do not want to end up like Canada with 5 banks, Switzerland with 1, France with 3.
Absolutely, great. Your decisive action to confront what should concern all of us, certainly concerns us, is the rampant government benefits fraud uncovered in Minnesota. Can you walk us through how Treasury is using your authorities to identify, disrupt, and recover fraud proceeds, and how Minnesota is serving as a start for a broader national enforcement model?
Indeed, there is a substantial amount of waste, fraud, and abuse, and Americans and legislators on both sides of the aisle should be outraged when you are there and you see empty daycare centers, senior centers, and I personally met with 2 centers for autistic children, and they are not getting their benefits. So we are using our regulations under FinCEN to follow the money, which is what we've done, whether it's Mexican drug cartels, whether it's the mafia, or whether
Time has expired.
it is
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield
this.
back. Thank you,
Gentleman
Senator.
yields.
This is the second front of the hearing, and it tells you exactly why the Financial Stability Oversight Council matters. Pressley is not just chasing tariffs. She is connecting the dots. Working families cannot afford the baby products they are legally required to buy. Black workers, disproportionately black women, are being pushed out of the labor market at post-COVID highs. 11% of GDP erosion concentrated in one demographic, the canaries in the coal mine, in her words. And she asks Bessent, on camera, twice, for a yes or no commitment. Will Treasury disaggregate black unemployment in its FSOC analysis? Bessent eventually says yes. But when she asks for a date, March 6th, he refuses. That is a commitment without a clock. And as any reporter who has covered federal agencies will tell you, a deadline-less commitment is not a commitment. It is a press release. That is Bessent's macro shield. And it is interesting, but it is the wrong shield. Pressley did not ask him about European social democracy. She did not ask him about the government shutdown. She did not ask him about fourth quarter GDP. She asked him whether the U.S. Treasury can exempt car seats, strollers, and cribs from tariffs so that a family on a $20,000 first-year budget can buy the federally required safety equipment for their newborn. Defending the macroeconomy is a fair hearing line on its own, but replacing a specific, on-the-record factual policy question with a sweeping ideological comparison is a deflection. And it tells the audience that the Treasury Secretary has no plan to act on baby exemptions in the near term. Look at the structural flaw here. Congresswoman Pressley gets 5 minutes by the clock in front of a Senate-confirmed witness, and she uses every second of it on a single legislative record. She does not let Bessent pivot. She does not let him invoke the president. She does not let him invoke the USTR. She forces him, on tape, to say 3 things. 1, he won't say no. 2, he agrees to look at it. 3, he will advocate. Then she makes him say all 3 again for the record. That is high-quality oversight, and the Republican chair gave him the chance to walk it back, and he chose not to. The baby product exemption question is now on the public record, awaiting an actual Treasury announcement. And every day that passes without one is another day the Bessent commitment is unmet. That closing is unflinching. Pressley pairs the policy fight with the lived reality. Car seats, strollers, black women's jobs, the canary in the coal mine, and then she tags Black History Month and yields back. Bessent's parting shot, "I was sorry to see you not run for Senate," is telling. A Treasury Secretary, in a hearing about the FSOC report and tariff exemptions, telling a sitting Congresswoman he wishes she'd run for Senate. That's not an answer. That's a compliment. And compliments don't exempt car seats from tariffs. 5 minutes in front of a Senate-confirmed witness, on the record, under oath, with a C-SPAN camera running. Congresswoman Pressley asked one thing: yes or no, will you exempt baby products from tariffs? The Treasury Secretary did not say yes. He did not say no. He said 3 things. He's not the USTR, he's not the president, and he's the wrong person to ask. Then, when the next member gave him a chance to clean that up, he pivoted to European social democracy, the American family spending $20,000 a year on a newborn, the family buying a federally required car seat, stroller, and crib. Heard nothing concrete. Just deflection, just bureaucracy, just a promise to look at it for the 2nd year in a row. That is what this hearing is. It is 2 years of under consideration. And it is the test of whether the Financial Stability Oversight Council, the very body Bessent runs through, can do its actual job, protect the stability of working families. Right now, on this record, the answer is no.